Decatur County Council. Mr. Westerfield, you want to send the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you hear us okay, Ash? Okay, you want to take a look at the minutes? Email to us. Do I have any additions or corrections?
I didn't see.
I didn't see anything.
I'll make a comment. Christy's doing a good job on these. That's a lot of detail in there.
Yeah.
I usually just name
All the program.
I told Billy that's what he gets.
Yeah, drag a snack and a cup of coffee before you start reading.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate it though.
yeah, I do too. So by Tuesday, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Any next motion? Any seconds? Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, on our 2026 budget, I'm gonna move it to the end. Sheriff, I need to bring Jeremy up first. That's okay. He's got an appointment he needs to keep. My.
So today I'm here to present an amendment to the edit plan. The edit plan previously had in it for the ready portion, the ready grant ARPA portion of edit was $31,000. That was to support the ready programs. We have gone through and approved a $25,000 stipend or addition to the ready portion there. That is for fundraising materials. We've already contracted with Daniel Fayette to do a promotional video, and this way we can also fund the handouts, display boards, other things like that, so that we can do the fundraising part of the ready grant. So we had an addition of $25,000. The prior amount in the ready ARPA fund section of edit was $31,000. It's now up under that revision up to $56,000. I will tell you that at yesterday's meeting, we did vote to approve moving that up to $2,056,000. And that's not before you today, but I'm just giving you that information. That is for the purpose of ensuring that Ready continues, our fairgrounds project continues. Part of my discussion today was also going to be just giving you guys an update. If you hadn't heard, we've got information from the state that Ready is going to be releasing funds to Ready 2 projects, so we don't have the concerns that we did 3 weeks ago when I talked to you guys on the phone. I think that was a very hectic Friday afternoon when I called you guys. So this is the additional $2 million will be just to ensure that we can keep progress going. That if we have bills coming in from the contractors, we can pay those and keep progress moving. But that, again, is not before you today. So today would just be the approval of the $25,000 additional to the Ready ARPA Fund section of edit for the purpose of fundraising materials so that we can get things out to community members, to businesses, corporations. I've already had a number of meetings with several large businesses in town, and they're asking for information like this. I was able to provide them electronic copies of what I have so far and what I've put together. I've also been able to provide them with details of the amount of events that are taking place at the fairgrounds on a yearly basis. It's surprisingly high. I mean, there's a lot of activity out at the fairgrounds year round. And then I've also included the numbers from the ball diamonds for what we've had so far over our first 5 tournaments. This past weekend was the 6th tournament. So there's a lot of traffic and a lot of activity that these businesses like to see. that I think would help encourage them to do a corporate sponsorship, possibly on the side of the building if the price is right. So that's the first part of it. The second part of what I'm coming to ask approval on for the edit plan amendment today is the $100,000 addition for the ball diamond renovation. We previously come to you and asked approval under the Build Decatur County section of edit. This body had approved a $200,000 draw off of Build Decatur County. That money is yet to be used at this point. We did amend edit to go up to $100,000 to complete the ball diamond renovation. That would be the back four. And so just to give you a summary of the funds that have been allocated to the ball diamond project, we have $550,000 from ARPA. We have the proposed $100,000 from edit. We have $100,000 from the city TIF. We have $400,000 from RDC Decatur County, $50,000 from the Parks Department. We have the additional $350,000 from ARPA, and we have the $200,000 from Build Decatur County. If the project stays on budget, which it has so far, right, Rob?
Yeah.
The total price of the project is a little over 1.7 million. With the addition of the 100,000 in the edit plan for the Parks Department to complete this project, that would put us at $1.75 million. So we have the funds there, funds that have been used as of this date. We're looking at $550,000 from ARPA. The Parks Department portion of the funds have been used. Build Decatur County has still not been used at this point. The additional $350,000 from ARPA has not been used. And to give you a little bit of explanation here on why I think this is a good investment, not including the statistics from the weekend, this past weekend's tournament. So just looking at the first 5 tournaments that we've had so far this year, we've averaged, best guess, it's about 3,500 people at the ball diamonds for these tournaments. That's a phenomenal number coming in here to Decatur County. The lowest number of teams that we've had at the tournament is 28. The highest was 40. Concession stands, their sales has been over $35,000 for those first 5 weeks. That's over $7,000 a weekend. When you're looking at the total impact that this can have on our community, we aren't just looking at the ability to help fund Parks Department, which we all know with their property tax levy, the change from SB1 is going to affect their bottom line as well. This project can help fund parks, but also we're looking at folks coming in from out of state. Over those first 5 weeks, we saw people here from Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, far away in Indiana. So they're staying at our hotels. That's going to help tourism. They're going out to eat at our local restaurants. Some of those are corporate chains, but they're also employing local people, which means they're making money here, which goes to the local income tax, which then helps Decatur County. When they're traveling into Decatur County to play in these tournaments, they're also going to be filling up at gas stations, which means we're getting gas tax, which then helps our highway department to improve our roads. This is a cycle here. This is something that if we can continue to help the Parks Department, help the ball diamonds, it's going to continue to perpetuate. It's going to continue to help our community as a whole. The other major factor that I think could help by completing the back 4 diamonds is that it's going to be large enough that we can host these tournaments. We can still have even more availability for local teams. There have been some growing pains on the reservations, on the portals and things like that for our local teams to go and reserve them to be able to play. It's a learning process. You know, I mean, we're only a couple of months into this, but we would have even more availability for local kids to get out there on those new fields and get that huge benefit. So I think when you're looking at not only the economic impact, but also the service that we can provide to the community from this kind of investment, it's high. It's off the scale. Where else in county government can we see this kind of economic return off of something like this? This is very unique because most of the projects that we undertake, we don't see a return like this. We are in the business of collecting taxes and using those tax dollars to provide services. Most of the time, it's not things that provide an economic return. This is a unique project that provides a great quality of life benefit to our community and it's also bringing an economic return.
All this has to be advertised first, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, we can't do no voting today.
We didn't on the 2 million. I think we're okay on this one, aren't we, Christie? Yeah.
We're okay on the
We're-
100,000?
Yeah, because the 100,000 and the 25 for ready, that was done back in April by the commissioners. The $2 million portion, we can't vote on today. Just wanted to give you guys that information. I think that Leanne is gonna ask for a special session. Is that right? From the council. So if she asks for a special session, she's running into an issue as well that she needs a 10-day notice on. If you guys go ahead and do a special session, I'll just come back to that instead of waiting to be legit.
But for the money, for the 2 million, waiting to the end, and waiting until June is not a deal breaker for anything, correct?
No, so for that's hard to predict. I mean, Rick, we have already received one bill, from Greg Mars for $738,000. That happened to be the same day that we got word that Reddy was potentially going to be kicked out to January of 26. So we have the funds to cover that, and I don't want to run into, because I mean, work hasn't stopped except for when the weather's bad, like today. I don't want to run into another situation where we don't have the ready funds actually rolling in yet. I know the state has said that they're rolling at this point, but I want to make sure that we don't have to hit the brakes, incur additional costs, because that was the biggest takeaway that I had in talking with Greg Marks and Scott Barnes, is that if we have to put a pause on this, the prices are going up because contractors are already solidified the price on all of these different items for the project. They're locked in, and if we have to put a pause on it, that's just going to make costs go up for us.
But I think that money will come back quite.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure
that,
most of it in its side.
Thank you.
And if you stop, my thing is if you stop on it, you're not gonna get the contributions you
That's
need
okay.
to.
no,
look
that's
like you're
true. Yeah.
moving forward.
And I appreciate Danny bringing up that point, because we had confirmed with Ready that, so the county's portion of the Ready project is 1.2 million. Say that we have to go and pay that $2 million, right? We can reimburse ourselves with Ready money once it comes in. So we can take ourselves back down to that $1.2 million allotment that we had put in the proposal for Ready.
And then the 100,000 or $25,000 that we're going to vote on today is already in added.
Yes.
Right? It just needs to be, it's not like,
It wasn't in it.
yeah, it's like a transfer kind of situation.
The commissioners approved it, but they didn't put it in an amendment in that.
Yeah.
For us to see it during any time, budget time. I'm not sure. Did you vote on that last year, the 100,000?
So it was voted on in November. It was a special session.
And it really wasn't, it didn't specify ball diamonds. It really was, if you read the minutes, it just kind of said parks.
Yeah.
Because they talked about tearing the pool out, but
Danny and I have talked about this. I know Christy has been involved in that conversation. It was not entirely clear what that discussion was revolving around from the minutes. And unfortunately, because it was a special session, I think it was my fault there where I hadn't gotten with with Dave Henderson to get recorded. So we couldn't go back and watch the video. So that was entirely on me there, because it was a special session that wasn't originally on the calendar.
So the funding that 1.75 million we allocated less than 100. Is that everything we're gonna need to finish the project?
So, yeah, phase one, phase two, phase two. But that's, yeah.
Get it all done, up and running,
Yeah, so that.
kids playing on their own.
Explain to me what, if we have 8 diamonds out there, does that mean it'll be 80 teams show up, or the teams will be here less time?
Yeah, for instance, 2 weekends ago, we had the Mother's Day tournament out here for team softball. We had 39 teams. That whole tournament between 2 complexes is 80 teams. I got commitment for next year for all 80
Okay.
years. So that's
That'll be twice as many
you can
teams.
essentially see it be double. So yeah, going into next year.
And also just for some reference, in our lit economic development right now, the ending balance as of May 20th, 2025 was $3,727,127.48.
I'd like to approve these individually instead of all at once. Okay.
So I just, I mean, we've all talked about this fall down project for a long time now, trying to get it going, and I see the kind of result we're seeing is pretty phenomenal, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, like Jeremy said, we're just 2-3 months into this thing. We've already had, I mean, you drive by there, there's not a parking spot available on a weekend. It's just 4 nights.
We were all kind of in that let's wait and see mode when we were originally talking about this. And here we are. These tournaments didn't start until the second week of April, and we're only halfway through May now, and we are seeing already a phenomenal return on what our investment has been. I think that we should go ahead and jump on the momentum that we have. I've talked with the event organizers. I know Rob has been in great contact with them. They love being here. It's a fantastic facility, and it's just been great reviews for the facilities that we've provided. So I want to capture that momentum, move forward. I think that the results that we've seen so far should kind of ease our questions in that let's wait and see how this first year goes, because when you're looking at a new project like this, the hardest stretch for a project like this is going to be those first couple of months. And look at what's happened from here. It's a phenomenal return.
Well, the people that are involved, that I was saying, see that we're willing to make the investment to create a facility that they're able to come use. I think that speaks volumes about Decatur County. So,
We've got to do something about parking out there. I was out there last night, and if it wasn't for the bowling alley, there's nowhere to park. And he says anything, Tom says something about parking in his parking. They're parked on a park road. That was just.
Yeah, I saw campers on park or on 200 this weekend.
Well, this was last night. This was just the regular leagues. I got somebody on. Only 7 of the ball diamonds last night. It's crazy.
I would say the numbers through the week for our county kids too have just, I don't know what it is, but there's a lot more people out there.
There is.
Yeah.
Do we need to allow Tom maybe money?
Well, that's what I'm
there.
wondering.
Keep it on good terms.
I'm sure they're parking in his front part. This is behind there. I mean, it's a long walk. Might be a temporary fix.
I haven't seen as much on the weekends, more through the week. They just get locals and they provide a car share.
Yeah.
maybe you ought to have that conversation.
And it's stopping.
What we do to compensate.
My only idea is as we go into next year is to contact and they extend some type of parking out there, gravel wise or something. That would solve a lot of those. Have the room.
It's only amazes me all the years I've been on this council, that area out there hasn't made hardly any money. And we made $40,000. It's just.
Yeah, it doesn't include the rental. As of last night, or as of Monday, it was 42. Not including the rental, close or 12,000.
So busy this weekend.
Yeah, little smaller tournament this week at Memorial Day. They're going out there. It'll probably be I think it's still 2018 now.
So
Won't
we
wait till July.
talked about paying it back.
Right.
And is this all being kept in a separate?
It's its own appropriation, right, Christie? The money coming in for the complex that was set up. The complex funds have their own appropriation, but then,
We have not seen it.
no, I mean, but it's set up.
It's set up.
The
It's
changes that's
supposed to
going
go in
on,
park-
that's sitting in the account. The
park
account that we
activity.
have that needs to be transferred.
Yes.
It's separated. It's,
It should be separated at the company.
So we need a motion for the 100.
Yes, I'm entertaining a motion for none.
I'll make that motion.
Kenny makes a motion.
I'll second.
Ernie seconds for 100,000 with ball diamonds. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? Record for me is no. Okay, 25,000 for the ads for the fairground.
I'll make that motion.
Motion. And 25,000 out added for add up to 25,000, probably The outfit takes that much, you just cover it.
I don't think we'll
Basis
get
on
there. Yeah.
I think you're looking at 5 to 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Bill makes a motion to cover the 25,000 for the Fairgrounds Act.
I'll take one part.
Ernie second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Bill.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Sheriff, you're up. I'm going to relinquish to Mike Harrison. Pardon? Okay.
He puts me at first and goes back. His phone will ring. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We're to be back. Promised I would come back and give you guys updates. So here we are. It's been a busy time since we last talked. As of this morning, we are sitting right at about 80 calls for service. As we started on February 1st, that's roughly 109 days if my math is correct. So we're cranking out the calls. But we're seeing the benefits as well. Through that, we've been able to produce a lot of folks going to emergency room and in particular folks coming into the detention center. We've been able to get those folks in other places. Having a full-time licensed clinical social worker in the detention center has also helped with that, with the programming. She has been able to also open up inroads into a lot of the facilities in neighboring counties to where we can do some direct admits or walk-ins, and that again keeps us out of the emergency room, as well as taking time off the road in order to do that. In addition to our LCSW, we've also been able to hire 2 other response deputies, which I'm extremely thankful for at this point. And they're here this morning. It's John Bunning, Tiffany McFarland. So they're welcome to the team. We're getting everybody up and running and up to speed. We had our first 40-hour CIT training week in April. We had 15 people come in and be certified. So that was a great advantage there. In addition, we developed some relationships with the CIT groups in Shelby and Rush. We're going to use trainers back and forth, instructors back and forth, so that when we have a class here, they can put people in it. We have a class there, put people in theirs. Shelby is going to have a class in February, which will allow me to push the spring class that we would normally have into probably early June and get all of our SROs and school folks, everybody in those classes. So gives us a little more leeway there. It frees up their schedule. So we'll be able to get a lot of the folks that have obligations during the school year, get them in. In addition, we're having a community night. Flyers or not, but that'll be on the 29th at Greensboro Junior High School. We'll hope to get a good crowd come in, explain exactly what we do. One of the things that we were able to do during the training was have folks from the community who had service providers and different mental health groups come in. And I expected probably 4 or 5. We ended up with 25. So we're in the process of defining a list that not only can go out to the first responders, but we can get out to the community as well. So they know where those services are. They know what is available for them. So it's been an exciting time. We're not only noticing differences in the county, but just within the last couple of weeks, I was asked from a very large corporation out of the county to come and speak for their mental health awareness program that they have. So it's definitely being seen outside the county. We're noticing what we're doing, how we're doing things. Even the National Alliance on Mental Illness for the state of Indiana has come down to that with the sheriff and I. They are extremely pleased and happy with how things and staying within the parameters of not only CIT but NAMI. So it's an exciting time. As high as those numbers are, my goal is to get those down. But we're getting there. We're seeing a difference, and hopefully, with your continued support, we'll continue to count. I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Those that were at that first training said 15, do you have all the different first responder teams or?
So we were able to get several from the detention center, several from our department, a lot of our partners within the community, as well as somebody from the school system. So we're pretty happy about that. In fact, that's what kind of prompted us trying to get that scheduled for the schools in June, that we have a huge response. And we continue to have a huge response from them as we've gone out and visited the different schools.
Got the volunteer firemen involved.
So we've got, we actually had one of the firefighters that went through in Shelby County came back and went through ours again, just to kind of get, a better grasp on what was going on. And we started to push that out. I've been to several of the county fire meetings. And there is a hybrid course that we can scale down a little bit, aiming at those folks that can't come in for a true 40-hour week. So that's probably what I'm looking at for some of our EMS folks, some of the volunteer firemen, because they still have time to come in. SROs, that's really my goal in June, is to get all of our SROs from every school district in there and through, as well as some of their administrators.
You have St. Mary's on that list.
We've been to St. Mary's and we do have them on the list. So we're looking at some different programs that we can put in out there.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Leanne.
Morning. I'm not sure how much you guys are familiar with it, but I've talked to the commissioners, with the city council as well. But we've got some repairs that need to be made on our Greensburg tower here in town. Currently it's out of compliance because there's a light that's out on the tower. And instead of just changing the bulb, they're going to replace the whole light with a more efficient LED light. To us, what sounds simple, changing the light bulb, it's not so simple when you're having to climb a tower. It's pretty costly. So we got 4 quotes. Does anybody need copies, by the way? I think there were emails, but I've got copies if you need them. But so the first thing, the main thing is because we're out of compliance with the FCC and FAA, because that light is not functioning on our tower and hasn't been for a few months. That first quote is to fix that light and the labor that is going to cost to do that as well. You can see it's pretty expensive, and because we've got several quotes, they've kind of spread out the cost for the labor to climb. It's like $6,000 just to climb the tower. So it's been in discussion at the 911 board and with also law enforcement and just public safety in general about if we're going to have them climb it and spend that expense, why not try and do some upgrades that's going to enhance our backup system. We've got a low band repeater currently. However, it's not in use, and if they're going to make the climb anyway to save thousands of dollars, why not go ahead and have them run the antenna and the cabling to that tower to use as a backup, even though we don't use that backup system very much. It can come in handy, with big events or just like the solar eclipse, fall festival, things like that. Like I said, the repeater is not expensive. We've already got it. It wouldn't cost to program it. IT is capable of doing that. Quote 2 is coming in at $10,572 for them to do that antenna and cable for the low band repeater. What we currently run on is a 700 megahertz with the state repeater. And recently, last April, our state tower went down for over 2 weeks. We've got a backup system when that happens. However, during that time, that was at our Greensburg site. We usually can rely on our Let's tower as for us to maneuver some of the radio frequencies to stay in contact with everyone. However, during that same time frame, Let's tower went down, so both of our state sites went down. Not something that you definitely don't want in public safety. And we were able to work around it, but it's a safety issue for our responders. We were hoping, obviously, during this process, to go ahead and run antenna and cable so that in the future, if we got a 700 repeater as a backup on our end, if those state sites ever went down, that we already have the cabling in place and just getting the money to get that 700 repeater and have a full backup system. So quote 3 is if we run the antenna cabling for that 700 megahertz. And that comes in at $12,952. I had asked Josh in IT to go ahead and reach out to Motorola just to give us an idea how much that repeater is going to cost. And they returned it last week. With the licensing, it's just under $28,000, where we can go ahead and get that added to the tower as well. The 911 board has agreed up to $20,000 for the light repair, which is the main issue that we're looking at. But if we're going to make that climb and pay that kind of labor to go ahead and try and enhance that tower for our total backup system, is it going to provide us the full coverage that our state sites do now? No, but it will give us more broader coverage if we lose those sites for the area.
It's just a tire by the old jail. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
So if you go to like on the back page, well, I guess I'll make the last page there for you guys. The total to do everything that we would like to do to have a full backup system is $68,000. 911 funds is up to 20 that they're willing to do. We found on the 911 the county-wide ledger, there's cash in that fund. That's unused money that out of the budgets through the years that was not used. It's in the cash side of it. It's just not appropriated. We've got funding, and we're asking for $50,000 to be moved into a tower maintenance and be able to do these enhancements. I'm not asking for money. We've got the money. I've asked the auditor's office. They've put it at the newspaper. I think our 10th day is going to be like June 2nd to have a meeting on June 3rd, I think. So June 3rd, I was going back a little bit. Our vendor is saying it's taken about 3 to 4 weeks to get equipment ordered now. If we wait to that last council meeting for approval, then we're pushing into possibly September to finalize all of these. And currently, like I said, we're out of compliance with this light anyway. We would like to expedite it, possibly if we could have a special session for your review on approving the $50,000 out of our county-wide amendment to my budget for the tower maintenance.
You, the repeater and invite all the equipment, kind of life expectancy does it have?
I mean,
I'll be completely honest, I don't know what Motorola's guidelines are on that. I will tell you that I don't know that we've replaced the repeater in all of the years that I've been consulting with the city and the county. That equipment is pretty standard, pretty duty, it's set for very high duty cycles. So I would expect even probably longer than what the manufacturer would recommend, just into it being a backup system or used for special events, fall festival parades, similar to the games. I don't have a good answer on that, but I will tell you that even the low band repeater that we are putting in as a backup was actually a previous sheriff's department repeater that was used.
So they're not like that equipment where in 5 years they're outdated, you gotta take them to something else.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my,
This equipment actually mirrors what is down in the west area as well, and it's what the state does use for all of their towers.
and we have handhelds for that low band that we've purchased. They're in there in our closet right now. So I mean, if the situation happened, we've got the radios for that to support it.
Where all the repeaters now? So labs.
It's a little confusing, just maybe clarify. We did address this with the city council, or sorry, city board of works as well, just because of these funds that were looking to reappropriate.
Yeah.
And thus this question came up for clarification. When we talk about the Greensburg and the Letts towers, we're talking about the state towers. So the failures and things that we discussed, those are not anything that the county has failed to maintain. They're not county owned assets. They're totally independent of the city. So just want to clarify, it's not not an issue with anything with it. We manage. Uh, on Southwest 60, I think, just before Ball's property is what we call the Greensburg site. And then the lead site is down near Lead Spire. We also, the county does have an additional radio on that lead site that we use for the southern portion of the county, very similar to this. Our hope years ago was that that could have been placed here, more central to cover more of the county. We did actually utilize that during the eclipse for communications at the fairground site. That was, part of some communication out of that. We do have on the tower here currently, the old sheriff's department jail site. It's a fire here for volunteer fire. There are remote sites at Santee, Santee, Westports, was what I said, Paul, and so on there. Those are just strictly for county fire and EMS, not used for any other sort of.
What was the entire balance in this 4930, and do you know what it was set aside for?
Basically, I mean, it's been used to therapy as a kind of like a savings. That's how I would explain it, more like a savings. Our budget is appropriated with those funds, and then anything unused gets put over in cash and stays there, because it is a 50-50 split between city and county, and be utilized for things like this. Unexpected expenses, obviously, with the center, things aren't cheap. You're always looking at several thousands of dollars. Just upgrading, something that we're looking at doing, upgrading our 911 consoles in the center. Could be about 150,000 that we're looking at hopefully doing this year as well. And obviously there would be some of those monies come from that fund as well.
Which goes back to the balances now.
So when I looked at it, it was a little over 700. But I think there was a deduction that that Christy had found in January of last year that needed to be corrected. So I think we're at least at 600,000. I used no money out of that
We
this
have to get
year.
it advertised first, correct?
It's already been put in. It will hit the paper Saturday.
So you need a special session. Really,
Would like for you to have one, then
Yeah,
we could
possibly
do,
June 3rd.
we could do the, also at the same time. Because it has been advertised.
Is the generator get fixed at that time?
It's not yet.
They ran the electric, we changed the electric over from the old garage to that. He's planning on putting in a base for it. It's been ordered, but I think end of September, middle of October is delivery date. So we just have to get the weeds and stuff cleared out so he can get his base put in. So when it comes in, it's ready to set and hook up.
And with the ECS, which is the vendor that's planning on doing the work, doing the climb, the three weeks for equipment. So then that's going to put us at the end of June. So originally, if I could have ordered it right away today, we're looking, it could have been all done before July 4th. But now we'll probably have to delay till hopefully by the end of July. Should be able to be more and be compliant.
For your out of compliance, what kind of grace period did they give you on that?
That has been the question of the day.
We're at their grace apparently, so it's been a good bit, so I think the sooner the better.
Yeah, there's no light on it at all.
Can we move forward with a gentleman's agreement? Other than go ahead and
They got the money.
get the stuff put
Yeah.
together. I mean,
So I could go ahead and make the
I
order.
don't, can we do that, Christie? Is that okay? Can we give her a gentleman's agreement to move forward with getting your
I think
project
we can.
started, and then we
I
can
think
approve it.
My
All right with
concern,
everybody else, Chris?
Also, the pricing, these quotes are, how good are they gonna be? Because everything is getting inflated right now, especially equipment, electronics, all that. That was your thing.
yeah, I was gonna say, we've run into this before. So, obviously, getting the life repaired is critical. You don't want to just have to come and do that, be another $6,000 at a minimum for another day of climbing. And as Dan mentioned, we spoke with commissioners, we have the support of commissioners to do the project as well as the city.
And I
board
win
as
one
well.
for,
So that was going to be an additional question, whether that needs to be a special session to have it approved, or if knowing that by the time we remotely have in, which we would still have another meeting prior to that. Obviously, don't want to spend money that you don't have.
I don't have any problem. You know,
Well, the light's 16 grand, right?
and I, yeah,
So you've probably got that if you can find without any
I've got that because 911 has
different
appropriate.
appropriation.
In my state funds, they've already approved up to 20 on this project, so,
So you can go ahead and order your fly
and yes.
and get that going.
And I
on
did
on
on that.
quote 2, 3, and 4. If you order that today, are you able to get a 10-day cancellation? Just on the off wild ass chance,
Right.
that something would happen. Then we'd be okay with that. Not have any penalties. And I think what Danny's saying, gentleman's agreement is a great idea to get you moving. But just so we don't get it.
So if I do ask them and they say no,
Well, that's the question I guess I'm asking. The council, are you okay with it?
are you still okay with me proceeding?
I mean, I'm okay with getting things started.
Okay.
If it is public safety, this is fine. As long as the guy, dumb question, a guy changing light bulb, he can do the rest of his work too.
Right.
I mean,
And that's why I said, it may sound simple, but it's really not. It's not
Yeah.
just changing a light bulb. Bobby.
So Ryan, our maintenance guy, can't go up.
Oh, man.
It's been in heavy discussion and talked about and obviously thrown out. We're gonna say this, why aren't we just going ahead and doing other things to enhance? when
Would
we
we
got the
need a
money?
special session in with the agreement letters talking?
You
about
do.
still-
Well,
Okay.
you can go ahead and say that today, but you still need a special
Okay.
session. to complete the approval
If you,
of the-
everybody can be here June the 3rd. I can't be here June the 3rd. But if everybody else can, I have no problem with it.
And that would be
Billy can
morning,
handle that.
with that would usually be in the morning.
Time, if they want it to be different, but
You want to set the time, what should I say? Set the time.
I'm okay with that.
What day is that? Tuesday.
Tuesday. You'll do it on the 2nd, I could be here. 3rd,
I wasn't sure how that would work with the count.
the third would be.
Okay.
Okay,
Could we do the 4th?
I still can't be really, well. Maybe,
matter to me.
maybe if it's early in the morning.
I have to be in Lafayette on the 4th, so I can't. I mean, for me, I can't be here.
I can't do the 3rd. So you guys,
As long as you got majority.
as long as you got the majority, 4 of them. On 3rd,
Can't do the 4th.
4th, yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I can't do it the 3rd, but if you guys want to set it up the 3rd, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, okay. Get that advertised too.
It
They
is.
were trying to,
We will get.
it's not,
Okay.
I can send that to you. I have it all pulled up on
you're
my.
thinking about climate, aren't
If
you?
you put the light at 5 feet, I'll do it for $100.
Did you get that, Ashley? Good.
So we're doing special here, 9 o'clock, June 3rd.
9 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, I climbed a tower one time at Premier Ag. When you get to the top of them,
It starts sweating.
you move 6 feet left or right. It's not a good feeling unless you're hooked in.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, this is not on the agenda, but Doreen, would you like to go over? Okay, Doreen has a abatement she wants to talk to us about.
It's been brought to my attention, Nelson Paulson requested or submitted their SB1 back in 2022. It was approved by the county council. Everybody signed off on it, went to the auditor's office. My office was never notified. So Delta Faucet also did not submit their paperwork to their parent company, Masco, to file for their ERA abatement. So the last 2 years, they have not requested an abatement on their 103 loans. When they submit their paperwork for personal property, they have to submit the 103 loan, the 104, SB1, CF1, the resolution along with it. They have not done that in the last 2 years. So when it was submitted in my office, which is submitted by myself, both years, they did not get their abatement. So it was brought to our attention that they did have one and that they are requesting to have that done. I got an email from Scott Wessler at Delta, and she's gave you all of the paperwork, but in that email from Scott Wessler, he states that they never did file to their parent company, Masco, for that abatement. So even their company didn't even realize that they had the abatement. We just received their paperwork for this year. They still have not requested the abatement for this year, which they can do an amended return and request that, but it would go on for the 3rd year, which would be at 60%. They are asking the council to do a waiver of noncompliance, which is something that the Department of Local Government Finance says that you can do if you would like. And what that is, you would have to hold a public hearing. Then they could ask to start at 100% from day one. Or they could even request to go back those 2 years to get that and then start this year at 60%. It is totally up to the council whether you want to accept to do a waiver of non-compliance or let them know that it starts this year at 60% and it's only for 5 years, so then it would go down from there for the next 2 years.
Did they get it 2 years?
It's a 5-year abatement.
How much did they get? 1 year or nothing?
They haven't gotten any, they did not file any paperwork with my office to,
Well, we went out there and went through that.
Yeah. Oh, we went through everything.
and the city, Brian Robbins, I don't know that he's here, he does a courtesy to all the people that have abatements in the city. He sends them either a letter or an email to let them, to remind them. In the 24 years I've been in my office, the county has never done that. I feel like if they are asking for an abatement, that is on them to do that paperwork. It is not for me to remember that they have an abatement.
My theory here is too, if it's important, where are they? You're doing,
Yeah.
we're pulling.
Well, and I'm gonna have that happen years ago, and they let them know because, you know, you're a grown adult.
Yeah. And the city, I do know that there has been a couple of times that the city has granted the waiver of non-compliance, but that's on the city and county is up to you guys. So it's totally up to you how you want to handle this and how you want me to handle it.
Well, I think that abatement was granted due, they was gonna hire more people, and we don't really know if they hired people or, you know, it's.
And that's another thing on their paperwork, when they file their their CF1, they have to update it every year. It tells you on that CF1 if they have went along with what they asked for on their CF1.
I mean, if they missed 2 years because they didn't do their part of the, I mean, it's not, we're not obligated to give anybody a tax payment. It's a privilege for them to come here and we want to help them, but we're not responsible for them doing their part on their end. So I wouldn't have a problem with starting it today. 60% and move forward here, that's where it'd be anyway.
That's right.
But I'm not gonna, oh, yes, go back 2 years and give it, because they didn't do what they were supposed to.
And if it's that important to them, they should have been here.
Yeah, they should have
Something
been here
has too. I mean, it's
to ask for that.
not having you do their job.
I don't
It's
like
really
that.
their job to me.
Being good for Honda. You know, Honda employ a lot more people than they do. But we should do that.
I'm with Kenny on that.
I'm okay with starting this year. We need to vote on
Got a
that.
motion.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion, we start this year, if we got the 6% where they would be, move forward. All they have everything filed.
Entertains.
I'll second that.
Bill seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I will contact them and let them know they need to do, and then if we turn 60%, then we'll get it from 60 and then. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Transfers. Everybody sees, Jen, we'll go back to the budget here in just a minute. Transfers. Child support conference, child support conference. Holding. Back to questions.
I'll make a motion, we the transfers.
Bill makes a motion to approve transfers. Dan seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we got one additional, I believe, from the sheriff. Really just coming out of county general going into your.
Right, that's why we sold one of our old cars. Put it back in our line item so we can pay it for it.
This was outside of the enterprise.
Correct.
Sorry.
Correct. We've got one more coming. Next meeting more than
That'd be
that.
the last.
Yes. Correct.
Is that working okay?
So far.
It
seems to be. We are, we're probably a month and a half out of having all 5 of the first vehicles on the program. So that'll give us a good idea. Ordering, delivery, and upfitting has gone fairly smooth. Ford was really slow, so that's been the holdup. The 3 Dodges came in early and no issues with those. Pickup and transfer, the vehicles that Enterprise sold was fairly easy. The 2 that we had discussed with them in our early meetings that we were planning on selling local has not been easy, but we're working through the process. So this additional is from the funds of selling ones locally, and that's been so difficult that we probably won't do that again unless a county entity wants to take possession of one of those vehicles. That's the only part that has not been easy in the process.
Just one vehicle.
Just one, yes, sir.
Good, you're getting along, or they seem like they're doing okay? You know?
Yeah, their customer service is wonderful.
Okay.
Communication is really good. We're just now getting into dealing with the billing department. And their divisions are really separated. So we have really good local people that we're dealing with out of Indianapolis. Their customer service is great. We have an account rep who's really good. And then we have a billing department where we're just getting to know them. But dealing with them is really smooth and really good. Again, we should probably by July, we should have all 5 vehicles on the program so we can make sure the money is what they said it was going to be.
Okay, good. Everybody get a copy of this, seen it? I entertain a motion to approve the addition.
So move.
Rick makes a motion.
I'll second.
Kenny seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed?
June the 3rd, what time is that meeting? 9.
Okay, we got one other thing to go over here real quick. As you know, we cut ourselves out of the commissioner's budget. Last year, we have our own budget. Everybody got a copy of the original appropriation for the council. By the time we have our normal meeting, Christie, we already asked for everybody in the courthouse, and everybody having budgets in. So I brought it up. Our total this year was 302,077. Which everybody wants to look. It's got the council's wages, FICA, PERF, group insurance. That shouldn't change much, should it, Christie? Insurance end of it.
We've not done we won't
But it
know
can
until we
be-
do the renewal, but
The updates. And we got office supplies and legal services. GFS consulting, travel expenses, legal notices, dues to state and national. And then we've got 50 plans and implementations. We put 50,000 in our own, which we haven't touched. We need to cut that at budget time. We can cut that at budget time. I don't see any reason changing our budget unless somebody else does.
We have an item by week said that.
They said it because of, been a lot more of us going to conferences.
Oh,
And we burned up our conference money. So they thought, what they put that in there, just a little backdrop and a little safety net, conferences and anything else. That's what it was. If I say anything,
with me.
okay?
For year to date, we hopefully spent $75,000 today, right?
Do I?
Expenditures to today or to 520 was 75,000.
Yeah, that's on our wages and FICA and PERF. Then you have to go down the rest of them, get the books. And we spent 3,100 out of the legal services, haven't said anything, GFS consulting, travel expense 75, and our dues.
We can look at that budget time again.
Yeah, we can look at it, but this should go in our budget book, that's okay. The same as this year. Okay. And then we've got budget times to set up for the department heads and workshop. And Christie, you had dates? Is this conflicting with?
it is, but I'm perfectly fine with if everybody can make this, we'll just keep this.
Okay,
I was going to ask for the week or the Tuesday before, but I'm okay with keeping this.
we need you here. Okay. Okay. So the department heads, elected officials have come in on the 18th of August. Budget workshop to be the 19th. Well, what do you want to do on the department heads? What time did we start last year? We started,
I think we started at 1, and then we moved it back because so many people wanted it, so we moved
starting
it
about
to
11.
11, I think.
We'll start at 11 o'clock.
And then do you think did you get 15 minutes? That's
15
the
minutes.
work.
Yeah, that seemed like it worked. The workshop will be right after our normal meeting on 19th. Public hearing on September the 16th and adoption of the budget October 21st. Okay with everybody?
So we're going at 11.
Yeah. 11 a.m.
Do you want a short lunch in there somewhere? Or
That's
a couple of breaks?
I hate to miss lunch.
You want to start at noon?
How about I start at 1 and then have,
Okay.
like we did
That's
last
just
year? And
the
then
random
have
June.
I can
We can start at 1.
Yeah.
get up one of
1 p.m.
I told them,
We'll have- Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Okay. I don't see anything else. Anybody else got anything for the council? Yes, ma'am.
Our budget doesn't change a whole lot. Do we have to meet with you? I mean, it's not a
You
requirement.
don't know, it's a request. You got something new you want me to talk about on it?
I just wanted to.
We have no problem. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Brian Robbins with the Economic Development, he wanted me to give a quick update to the council. He wanted to reiterate what Commissioner Hazel talked about with Ready 2.0 funds being released from the state. All of our local regional projects have been submitted for that. But he does want to warn that things have been changing drastically and very quickly. So while we're excited about the release of those funds, don't get too excited and kind of overly zealous. He also has a meeting today with the new Secretary of Commerce on his listening tour. So he'll be stopping in to hear about the region's successes and plans for the future. So just a quick update for me.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Good stuff.
I've got, for the comp plan survey, I've got hard copies. So if anybody wants to pick them up at the corner table, and then there's also a flyer, Josh told him, and then there's a flyer if you want to use your smartphone. You can use that for the QR code.
Okay.
I got a set of preliminary prints for our storage building. If you guys just want to take a quick look at them, just they're preliminary, but at least you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. I'll put them up here on the table. You can look at them after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything?
I do. We're gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Anybody motion to adjourn? Ernie second. All those in favor? Any opposed to that? No.